Everyone, welcome to the show. The Oath Keepers trial continues. I wanted to share some updates with you guys. The defense is hoping to convince the jury that the Oath Keepers didn't intend to commit any acts of violence. They didn't plan to do anything illegal. In their minds, Trump was going to announce the use of the Insurrection Act. So everything they did or were planning to do was totally legit, totally legal. There's so much wrong with that insane form of logic, but even if it was true, the leader of the Oath Keepers has made it clear that they plan to act with or without Trump's green light. In a November 7th message sent from Oath Keepers leader Stewart Rhodes to his members, Rhodes wrote, quote, "The final defense is us and our rifles." In another, he said, quote, "Trump has one last chance right now to stand, but he will need us and our rifles too. But will he finally act? So will you step up and push Trump to finally take decisive action? That's what we must do now. And then if he still refuses to do his duty, we will still have to do ours, and we will." Rhodes also messaged Roger Stone and Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio that day, and he wrote, quote, "What's the plan? We need to roll. I'm on my way to DC right now with my Oath Keepers tactical leaders for a possible DC op to do a leader's recon and make plans. I'm available to meet face to face." And Rhodes kept sharing videos of the overthrow of the Serbian government in 2000. He sent those videos to his members and he sent them to Stone and Tarrio. And he basically indicated that this would serve as a roadmap for their actions. The prosecutor also has now shared messages from defendant Kelly Meggs on November 8th, which read, quote, "It will need to be all hand to hand. You can't even have 9mm ammo in your pocket. Less than lethal mace, pepper spray, and stun guns are allowed. So that's probably the only legal option." He later said, quote, "And it doesn't hurt to have a lead pipe with a flag on it." So they were planning for violence immediately after the election. And even after January 6th, Rhodes said that if the group had had weapons at the Capitol, they could have, quote, "fixed it right then and there." So again and again, he and others talked about weapons, the use of violence, all to keep Trump in power. And it was also revealed in court that a member of the Oath Keepers secretly recorded a November 9th group call that was hosted by Rhodes because this member became alarmed by the increasingly violent rhetoric. So that member sent the recording to the FBI on November 25th of 2020, but FBI agent Michael Pallian admitted that it was ignored. Pallian has been a witness for the prosecution this week, and he said that it wasn't until the person sent the tip in again in March of 2021 that he actually saw it. And in this recorded call, Rhodes told his members that they needed to avoid being charged with conspiracy. Rhodes said, quote, "Don't make it easy for them to pop you with a conspiracy charge and do you like they did those guys in Michigan." So he was, of course, referring to the defendants in the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping case. So he knew, as a Yale Law School graduate, what potential crimes they were violating. Another damning piece of evidence was a recorded speech that was given by Rhodes. This was on December 12th of 2020. This was at the Million MAGA March in DC. And Rhodes first encouraged Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act. Then he told the crowd, quote, "If he does not do it now while he is commander in chief, we are going to have to do it ourselves later in a much more desperate, much more bloody war." And the following statement made on January 10th also shows that Rhodes desired violence regardless of Trump's intentions or actions. So this is after the Capitol attack. Rhodes told one of his members, quote, "My only regret is that we should have brought rifles." Then likewise, there were messages and statements made by defendant Thomas Caldwell showing an intent to attack the Capitol, even though Trump hadn't invoked the Insurrection Act. After learning that Vice President Mike Pence hadn't gone along with Trump's plan to stop the counting of the electoral votes and steal the election, Caldwell told someone in a message that he, quote, grabbed up my American flag and said, let's take the damn Capitol. So people started surging forward and climbing the scaffolding outside. So I said, let's storm the place and hang the traitors. Everybody thought that was a good idea, so we did. And Caldwell's attorney tried to paint him as this disabled vet. He's so frail. He couldn't do anything that he said he was going to do. This was all bravado. And they pointed out that he wasn't a dues paying member of the Oath Keepers. But this Agent Pallian testified that Caldwell was the leader of the group, or a leader of this group. And he said, quote, I don't think $50 determines whether somebody's a member of an organization. It costs $0 to join a gang, and you can be a member of a gang without paying any money. Notably, the judge barred the prosecutors from using Caldwell's death list. That I had mentioned that to you guys. You might recall it literally said death list at the top of the page. And then in another color of ink, there were the names of Georgia election workers, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. Those were the women who were targeted by Trump supporters. So it was written on there, but they said, oh, it was written at a different time. This wasn't a death list, blah, blah, blah. They made all these excuses. So the judge excluded that. And then Caldwell's attorney in court made a very basic legal 101 mistake. I mean, I'm not an attorney, and even I know this. You should never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. In court, he asked the FBI agent that was testifying a question that he clearly didn't know the answer to. Caldwell's attorney asked why the FBI arrested Caldwell so quickly. And Agent Pallian said that it was because Caldwell made, quote, violent statements about killing politicians and storming state capitals. So, based on the context of the question, it was clear that Caldwell's attorney was trying to insinuate that the arrest was due to politics, that this was because of political pressure. So that didn't turn out the way he intended. The prosecutor also shared messages sent by defendant Jessica Watkins, one in which she was encouraging someone to take off work to go to DC on January 6th. And she said, quote, I need you fighting fit by inauguration. And the FBI agent testified to the mood of the senators who he and others were tasked with walking back to the chamber after the building had been cleared. He said that overall they were in shock, but some of the members were in tears. They were crying. Pallian also said that the building, quote, looked like a bomb had gone off. So not really going well for Rhodes and the others, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching and listening. I will let you know when I hear more. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.